It's still about community, and it's still about unity. Relationships the foundation for this piece, so we're gonna break it down. Ha!
This is the Runaway, a hip-hop artist operating out of the GTA. He raps about his beliefs on life, love, faith, and making a difference in this world. However, what you may not know is the Runaway is also a loving father, husband, and high school teacher. His name is John Corbin. This humble man makes an impact on many people's lives with the work he does and the love he shares with his friends, his family, and the people he helps.
I don't live or die in hip-hop. I live or die for my faith and my family.
I'm very comfortable talking about faith to him, and I'm not usually comfortable talking about that in public. So as a personal friend, we can beef with each other, or I can ask him questions about faith that I would never, ever usually bring up in public. But I feel safe with him, and because he's a writer and an artist, there's that creativity element that I think he tunes in when I'm starting to talk, and he wants me to put that on paper so we can actually do something together.
One of the things that I set out to see is where the intersects are. I read a book called Jesus and the Hip Hop Prophets, which was taking the lyrics of Tupac and Lauryn Hill and saying how do those mesh with what Jesus was saying. So for me it was like, okay, well, if someone could do that, then where does my faith intersect with the culture?
The Runaway has collaborated with many hip-hop artists like Relic, Cyril Garrett, and most notably Shad K.
You know, I almost feel like the music in John, like there is no outside of the music in a sense, because how he lives his normal life is how he goes about the music too. He's really keen on relationships with people, and like he's more concerned about how am I doing under all the stress of having two jobs than he is like, have you got that verse done? Do you see what I mean? Like he's always putting the person first.
Free other people, free other people, free other people, kingdom, free not oppress you, free other people, free other people, free other people, I came to bless you.
John, I find, is extremely, I respect him completely because it is not easy to stick to who you are. Sometimes you have to compromise. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but there are people that might compromise for the sake of being marketable.
Yes.
And John is someone that I know wants to stay true to who he is as a person, and that's why I follow him.
Urban X, one of the main things that they do is take groups from around North America and take them to Toronto and give them a number of experiences and teachings that show them what it's like to live in other people's shoes. I did that when I was 16 and when I was 18. I took 2 trips to New York City on a similar vein, stayed in certain spots in New York and served all week. And those were key formations for me as a person of faith, and just shaping what I wanted to do with my life, which is continue to contribute to the lives of others.
I met with M. Johnson and Alan Waugh, the co-directors of Urban X, a charity based out of Toronto and Kitchener. We discussed how the charity started and how the Runaway walked into their lives and contributed to their cause.
It's a two-way street versus a typical mission trip where it's, you know, you come to give something of yourself to someone who has less than you kind of attitude, and it is people coming and saying, I want to be taught, that we're all teachers for each other and we're all students of each other in our community.
I was hypnotized. I was won over by it. And so I went backstage and talked to John for a while. I said, you know what, I don't like hip-hop. But your music was just, it was off the hook.
John is no stranger to hardship when it comes to his personal life.
I went through divorce when my parents were 10. They kind of separated. 12 they broke up. And I moved into a new community, started high school in a completely new place. Had to wrestle with that in terms of, you know, what it's like without a dad around. How do you become a man without a dad around? Those types of things became, not, I don't want to say premonitions, but the foreshadowed things I would find in the future.
John has always been a bigger brother, father figure for me. Since I was kind of just turning a blind eye to the whole parents' divorce, I always looked up to my brother. So it's like we didn't even miss a beat kind of thing. So as I got older and matured more and just learned a little bit more about life and just went through my own kind of soul-searching period of time, I really began to appreciate all the things that John has done for me and the love that he has for me as a brother.
Despite what's happened in John's past, it hasn't stopped him. He was always focused on helping people and reaching out to those in need.
Growing up, like most teens, I liked the R&B music and the hip-hop, but I was always torn between that and being a Christian, because you often live and follow the lyrics that you listen to. And with John's music, he incorporated that Christian content with the cool beats, and it really inspired me that, you know, you can do anything you want to in life, you know, and still be a Christian and live that out.
I've been working with kids in some capacity since I was 13. Volunteers, summer camps, kids programs after school, all that stuff. And then the kids I would start to run into when I'm 16, 17, and their parents are getting divorced, and they're struggling. Or the kids in my youth group, and their parents, and they're struggling. And I'm the one that's coming alongside them. Because I've gone through it just that little bit earlier. It frames a lot of my music in terms of how we treat women, what it means to be a man or become a man.
Excuse me, miss, this takes some nerve, but please let me speak on what you deserve. Excuse me, miss, I know I'm bold, but I'm just doing what I've been told. Listen, I was born to appreciate women. I just gotta learn to use the gift I was given. Train myself to expand my third eye, appreciate the whole, not just the outside. Because on the real, man, guys, they got it twisted. They're reading magazines, and meanwhile they're missing the glory and the beauty of nature, soon to overwhelm all the hypocrites and fakers. Ladies, let's have a conversation. I'm just checking on what your mind is facing, because I feel that the devil's playing games, telling lies so the strongest women feel lame. You deserve a man who wants to love the whole of you, not a slew of dudes trying to take control of you. You must be pursued for all your worth, not easily accessed from a lustful Google search. I'm trying to find a way to explain this. It only gets worse when you're famous. They dehumanize, they treat you like an object, like a magazine can say you ain't hot yet. You have the right to life and the right to truth. So the first person saying you're hot should be you. Shapes and sizes, you can define it. Flex the attitude, I know the right man will buy it. Excuse me, miss, this takes some nerve, but please let me speak on what you deserve. Excuse me, miss, I know I'm bold, but I'm just doing what I've been told. Thank you.
There's one thing that remains the same with everyone that has worked closely with him. They all have nothing but amazing things to say about the Runaway's music and his strong efforts to contribute to many causes around the world.
I think it's very genuine. It's very genuine as well. You can tell that he's really trying to reach out to people and actually stir up a little emotion or like some feeling. There's something about music, and then there's music that makes you feel something. And Runaway's music definitely makes you feel something. So like, he's got my respect.
Helping with Compassion, he did his CD release, making sure all his proceeds from round 2 was going towards charity there with Urban Expressions. And so he's always trying to figure out, like, he's not trying to glorify himself with the music, he's trying to uplift and build up people and the community, and he actually strategizes ways that can happen that I think a lot of people don't really think through. That's to the same degree that he does.
John's just a wicked guy, and he's always working in the church to you know, just build it and help it grow. John's become a good friend, and he's always available to talk to, and it's really cool when you can be with this this really positive energy and popular person and still have that friend relationship.
I know him as a friend, but I also appreciate and enjoy him as an artist. So, yeah.
Any personal goals for yourself? Anything in your life that you want to kind of achieve that maybe you haven't done yet?
There's lots.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Go ahead if you want to.
There's lots, but I see it, 20, 30 years down the line, like I have to have the patience for that. I want to write books. I'm working on a pitch right now to write I'll probably self-publish just a small book to be working on things. What else? I would like to sort of expand my musical abilities. I want to learn guitar to be able to sort of evolve that way. I'd like to get a master's, or at least, if not a doctorate. I would like to be involved in speaking into education reform, to change the way we teach, or to positively alter the way that we teach. My wife and I would like to travel, to go serve in different places. With her medicine background and my teaching in music, there's lots we can do. And we want to have a lot of kids too, so we and our families first, so we'll build into our family, and hopefully we'll be able to establish a good community here in Milton that will love us and support us as we sort of travel and take that elsewhere. So there's lots. I'd like to do public speaking gigs. I'd like to expand my education, and there's a lot I want to do down the line. Yeah.
On the streets and in clubs, at home and with friends, John the Runaway Corbin is spreading his message of harmony to anyone with the time to listen.
Away we go, Runaway, I rap Ontario. Respect the architects like Maestro. Hardcore rhymes with an old school flow. Got my endorsement, the crowd says. Got no time to brag about dough. Like Sivion, I stay in the know. One of these MCs just might blow. Flip the script and bless the whole show. That's the next pitch I'm about to throw. Feels so good that the crowd want mo. Sing about the first cut like Sheryl Crow. Maybe one day they'll play me on flow. Tale of the tape is a blow by blow. Living in Canada, dealing with snow. Think twice and turn pro. Make hot tracks, who's ready to go? So let's go. 2, 3, away we go. Rockin' loud for the crowd on the dance floor.